Hey, shalom, shalom. Hi, Rob to Wab, which is good evening, and knocking on Wahai Bar. Yasha Allah Walakim La Adam, Kosha Buai Bahar Kha Wakak Shaw Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Ma'amath, which is truly with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah to preach to you so called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Nacham Adam, Kaya, Amalak Watha Shemayim, Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash, Wamashana, Kabadim Zakoyna, Wamala Akim, Shaw, Yashala Zakoyna, Chagarwa, Wachasa, Washalom, Barakim, Laha, Bacharim, Shaha, Gawya Shah, Shalom, our all praise the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahasham, in the name. Yahweh Shah, he delivers double honor to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right. So today's lesson is entitled Yawam HaShabbath Wa Yarak Chadash, all right, which is the Sabbath and the new moon. All right. So I just want to touch let's go into that. All right, so I'm gonna start with Waya Korah. Also Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Mashah, saying, speak unto the children of Yasha'al, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. It says 6 days shall work be done. All right, so you work, you do whatever you got to do. 6 days a week. I'm gonna go into this word work. That's where work says mala'aka, and it says occupation. You know, whatever you do as a career, work, business. You know, your personal business, property, work, something done or made. It says workmanship. All right, it says like labor. You know, pretty much going into just going into work. You know. So it says property or wealth of anyone. You know, anything that's going to make you some money. You know. It says especially of the work of an artisan. So if you make stuff with your hands, work of a smith. All right. So going back. It says, but the seventh is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. You know, so the Sabbath, Shabbath, HaShabbath, is the Sabbath. All right, that's why it says rest. You know, because the heavens and the earth was made in those 6 days, which is pretty much it's an exemplary of you know, why we keep HaShabbath, the Sabbath. And it says Shabbath one. It has the name in it, Shabbath. It says Sabbath observance. All right, it says a solemn Sabbath. You know, so you don't work and do your own business on a Sabbath. All right. You know, that consists of, you know, binge watching your favorite TV show, or you know, working out. You know, you wouldn't do your own business on the Sabbath. You wouldn't go and you know, of course you don't have sex on the Sabbath. All right, but I want to go into this word Shabbath. All right, that Shah is to press, because that's what the Shah stands for. It stands for shine, which that's your teeth, and your teeth press. Like we got at the top right here. Press. That Ba is Bayath, which means house, or your home. And you got the Tha, which that goes into Tawa, and that means end. So this word essentially goes into press, home, end. All right, so you press. Shabbat means, you know, you press, you going home, All right, to end, to end all work, because when sunset come in, when Hashabbath starts, you're not doing any more work. That's why it goes into Shabbath. You press home, all right, to end work, to finish your work, all right, because that thought goes into finish. All right, that's the end. That also marks um the month is marked by the moon. All right, so that's the seventh day. So then it goes into the new week as well. But continuing on, just to get that point, let's go to, we'll get Bonsarat chapter 43 and verse 6. It says, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Which the moon is the moon is how you mark times. All right, Esau, he has a Julian calendar, and I believe that was adopted by the ancient Egyptians. But the Julian calendar, that's I believe Julius Caesar. He adopted that calendar, but again, he adopted that from the Egyptians, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But what we went off of was the moon. You see, because from sunset to sunset, that's one day. It says from the moon is the sign of feast. All right, we just got Leviticus 23 verse 1-3. All right, that's the sign of the feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. You see, so the moon has its own light. It doesn't reflect off the sun. Because if you think about it, if it reflected off the sun like a mirror, then it would still be daylight or sunlight. But the moon actually has its own light. All right. So it says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. It says the light that decreaseth in her perfection, because if you notice, the moon, its light decreases. That's why they call it a waning crescent or a waning, gibbous, if I'm not mistaken. But the word waning means to grow less. That's why it says decreaseth in her perfection. So it says the month is called by her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. All right, so the month is called, that's where the word month comes from. All right, it says it's called by her name, so month comes from moon. It says increasing wonderfully in her changing, because it has like eight different phases. It says the beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and the ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. All right, that was pretty much the point. All right, that was pretty much the point. The moon has its own light, and then it also serves as it marks the time. We use the moon for time. All right. So continuing on, let's get which if I can say the new moon is likened unto a Sabbath. On a new moon you don't do any work either. All right. Let's get Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. It says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. So you should be thinking upon the Lord on the Sabbath day. But you don't want to be over-righteous in doing it, but it's supposed to be about the Lord. We should be thinking about the Lord on the Sabbath. That's why it says, turn thy foot away from thy pleasures. It says, nor speaking thy words. That's a day to, get some hard studying in, and chill out and just relax. You're not supposed to cook on the Sabbath. You're not supposed to, play video games and et cetera, things as such, And being that you're not supposed to cook, again, you don't want to be over righteous. You do want to have something set aside, as far as you do want to have something set aside as far as food, But say something happened to where you didn't have anything set aside, you can fast, all right. But then being that you don't want to be over righteous, you can grab some food, But continuing on, let's get Genesis chapter 1 and verse 31. All right, and it reads, it says, this is Baruch 1 and verse 31. It says, and the Most High saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So the Lord had made everything in 6 days. All right, continuing on, verses 1 to 2 in chapter 2, it says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all of the hosts of them. And on the seventh day the Most High ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. You see, and the Sabbath is an example of that. That's why I said press home. To end. That thigh is to end. You end in work. You're going home to chill out. To rest up. You work 6 days, and then you chill out on that seventh day, which is Hashabbath. All right, let's get this. This is Tahoyim, Psalms, chapter 81, and verse 3 and 4. It says, blow up the trumpet at the new moon, and the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Yasha'Allah and a law of the God of Jacob. All right. So going into those new moons, all right, and the Sabbath, those are solemn feast days. All right, those are the times appointed by the Lord. And the new moon is likened to a Sabbath, because the new moon brings in the Sabbath. You count 7 days from the new moon. On that seventh day, that will be the Shabbat, HaShabbath. All right, let's get this right here. This is Isaiah, Yashaya, chapter 66, and verse 23. And it says, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And we just got it was Isaiah 58 and 13. You call the Sabbath a delight, Salah. You see, because the Sabbath is actually a day of rest, and where we can get rejuvenated, and worship the Lord. I'm gonna go back to this real fast. It's Isaiah 58 and verse 13. All right, and it reads, it says, I'm gonna see what the commentary says. All right, and it says, it's a lot. Okay, Ba, it says, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord. When we keep the meaning of the Shabbath, HaShabbath, not merely as an empty religious ritual, it's not meaningless. It says, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord. The Most High will bless us, and we shall delight not only in the blessings, but in the Lord himself. We know it is sure because of the mouth of the Lord has spoken. It says in this chapter, the Most High exposed the emptiness of two religious rituals as practiced in Isaiah's day, fasting and Sabbath keeping. Because Jake was pretty much going off. So it says, both of these are expressions of not doing things. In fasting, you don't eat. In Sabbath keeping, you don't work. It says an important aspect of this chapter is showing us what we don't do isn't enough to make us right before the Most High, or walk with the Most High shouldn't only be defined by what we don't do. What do we do for the Lord? You see, so keep praising the Lord and keeping the delighting ourselves in the Lord. That's some things that we can do for the Lord. That's what those days was made for. And then also a day of rest. It has more benefits than what we can actually think about. Because in this kingdom, we know nothing but work. Just keep going. The Sabbath is like a day to just chill out and relax. So I'm gonna get one more, and then that'll be it. Salah. This is Ezekiel chapter 46 and Salah. Actually, I'm gonna get Amos chapter 8 and verse 5. It says, and this was that spirit, this can be likened to that spirit that was in the commentary. So it says, Zion Watts, Amos chapter 8 and verse 5, it says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the hashakwa great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. It says that we may buy, it says that we may buy the poor for silver, and the needy for a pair of shoes, yeah, sell the refuse of the wheat. And Jake pretty much Jake pretty much was waiting for the new moon to be done, trying to rush for the new moon to be done and the Sabbath to be over with, because they wasn't, fully taking hold and delighting in those days. All right, I'm gonna get these in another version. NLT, it says, you can't wait for the Sabbath day to be over and the religious festivals to end so you can get back to cheating the helpless. You measure out grain with the dishonest measures and cheat the buyer with dishonest scales. You see? And Jake was ready to get back, to cheat his brother, But those days, all right, they were made for us. They were made for our well-being. All right, so it's a day to rest. All right, to reiterate, you see. But I don't want to Zaza by night. Apollos with us a beautiful edification through the spirit. Again, we La Amar Shana to say again. All right, we went over Yawam HaShabbath, Wayarat Chadash. All right, which again, that's the Sabbath day. All right, and the new moon. Actually, I want to get that too. New moon. It says the new moon monthly, the first day of the month, the lunar month, because again the time goes off of the new moon. So it says the new moon, the day of the new moon, the calends of a lunar month, which was a festival of the ancient Hebrews. Right, and it says, now shall a new moon devour them; they shall be destroyed at the time of the new moon. Lunar month, it says beginning at the new moon, the period of a month. All right, and that's where month comes from. All right, but I don't want to Zaza Banaya Palo as well. Does a beautiful edification through the spirit. Water on Tazah Dam Yash Layla Tawabe. Lord's will, you all have a good night. A call Layam La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Rakha Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and rule well, and much respect to you bros out there pushing this truth with the all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Wa Yahweh Mahar La Bachayarim. Godspeed to the elect. Shalom.